I was thinking of how funny it would be to start this like an infomercial, like, have you been doing shadow work? Have you gone through the pits of despair yet? Have you felt the ultimate despair in self-realization? Anyways, now that we're past that part, that's what I wanted to talk about today. As we're going through the progression of healing, organic evolution, the processes of enlightenment and blossoming. As we go through this, we experience very deep levels of grief, and I call it spiritual growing pains. Sometimes you can read up on things that call it a dark night of the soul, which I don't like, because when you read up on that, it makes it sound like it can only happen one time, or you'll go through it one time, which is not true. You'll have many moments like this, because especially if you've had a life of a lot of trauma and pain, you will go through many like anyways. So when we're going through the healing process, and we have these big realizations, right? We're moving through, we're addressing our shadow, we're meeting these fractured parts of ourselves. We go through physiological changes, okay? Because you are changing your energy, and lower vibrational energy actually physically weighs more. And that's how like new dark universes can be created. It's, side note, because that dense energy weighs more. And so it's like this pocket of weight that just kind of builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then it bursts downwards. And so that's the creation of a new universe with that lower vibrational energy. And the opposite of that can happen as well. It just looks different. So organic evolution, which is, the opposite, where you are changing your frequency, you are blossoming yourself, you are bringing in and releasing that dense energy. And so the physiological symptoms can vary from person to person. But just know that when you are going through the healing process, you will experience certain things, and to look to recognize that. That's the key. That's the key thing here, is to say, rather than saying, oh, I think there's something wrong with me, I think I'm doing something wrong, really examine that. And this is why I always talk about personal discernment being so, so, so important. Really examine that to see, is this a symptom of my healing? Because that will only be temporary. Like I'll share a quick story with you. A few times in meditation, because I like to do big crystal grids, because I love working with crystals. Obviously, I'm like covered in them. So I like to work with big crystal grids. And I had set it up this one time, and I went into meditation and I came out. I threw off my equilibrium for like weeks. I would just get dizzy and woo. and I did acclimatize to that new energy, and it did get better. But it was after that meditation that I threw myself off, because working with crystals is very powerful. Even working with yourself in meditation, very, very powerful.